Man, I was talking to my brother today, man, and we was talking about how I'm at this point in my life where I meet a lot of women that just don't play that shit no more. Women that just don't got time for the games. They're not finna waste their time with you. They not finna give you chance after the chance. Like if they see that you wasting their time and they see that you're not standing on what you're saying and they um see that you just all talk, like a lot of these women these days are just cutting you off and not even saying anything. And my brother, man, the type of person he is. He's a realist, and he's not going to sugarcoat or lie to you about anything. He said, as they should. He said that sometimes us as men should do a move when we see women operate and move in certain toxic behaviors. We give them chance after chance, just in a different way. And it made me realize something. It made me realize a couple things that sometimes it is our fault. Sometimes just as quick as we cut off certain people, sometimes we need to be cut off because we're not being a good friend, or we're not holding up our end of the relationship, or we're not doing what we said we was going to do. Or sometimes we're just dealing with so much, but we can't be available for them. And we need to be real with ourselves and say, maybe I'm not in a place or a capacity where I can tend to anybody else in my life because I can barely tend to me. And that's just life. Let's go.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Quite literally. Will Tidwell, a younger gentleman.
I wish I didn't have this big heart. People just do nothing but hurt me. Anybody can dream the dream. Anybody can have a goal, but see,
You're gonna be a neighborhood hero. You just keep shining, young king. Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z to what will Speak Up Z. You're now tuned into the episode of Speak Up Z, the podcast. Man, the podcast where we talk about real things with real people. Everything from life to business to mental health and everything else in between. And man, I got a special episode for you guys, man, where I'm gonna just share a piece of my writings of late. They've been doing really, really well on socials, man. So if you haven't followed me on socials, be sure to follow me on all platforms at Will Z Tidwell, at Will Tidwell, man. I'm make sure I start popping it up here. I don't know why I don't have it up here now. But yeah, man, I want to share one of my latest writings. Because like I said in the opening and in the intro that, you know, I'm running into a lot of people, especially women in my life, that aren't they don't have time for the bullshit. They don't have time to waste. They don't have time um, to be lied to and played with and toyed with, and even though part of that may hurt a little bit when certain people let you go, you have to understand that sometimes that you needed to be cut off. That sometimes you were bullshitting. Sometimes you didn't stand on your word. Sometimes you did lie. Sometimes you did play games. Sometimes you weren't in a place to even be dealing with anybody, but yet you did. And that's okay. It only becomes a problem when we keep lying to ourselves or trying to play the victim when sometimes it is our fault, man. You know? And I don't know. Just having that conversation with my brother today, man, it kind of made me think of this writing I wrote recently where I said that the more you love yourself, mm, the less you tolerate. Or what I really should have said is that the more you learn to love yourself, the less you start tolerating your life. Because when you go through that process of learning to love yourself and be with yourself and spend time with yourself and understanding yourself, you start to realize that there are just certain energies and behaviors and things that people can do that you just don't want in your life anymore. Things that the old version of you would have probably accepted and looked over and even forgiven. But now you get into a place in your life where there's just no room for that. Like there's no room to have people in your life that are unsure about you. There's no room to have people in your life that all they want to do is lie and play games with you. There's no room to have people in your life that don't know how to communicate. There's no room for people in your life that just want to waste your time. There's no room for people in your life that can't mean what they say and say what they mean. And there's nothing wrong with that. And some people that used to know you might even say that you changed. It might even say that you're bougie. It might even say that you're acting different. And the truth is that you are. But isn't that what you're supposed to do when you're growing? Act different than what you used to act like? Do different than what it is that you used to do? Because you realized something the last time you was doing what you used to do and acting the way you used to act. It didn't get you very far. Or it kept getting you the same results and living a life that you really didn't want to live. And so the more that you learn to love yourself, the more that you learn to be with yourself and understand yourself and realize what you need and what makes you happy and what makes you whole and what makes you feel good, then you learn to stay away from the things that don't. And the hardest part is not leaving behind the things that you used to tolerate and put up with when you were struggling to love yourself or when you didn't know how to love yourself yet. But it's staying away from the things that you put down when you finally did learn to love yourself. Because man, it's so easy to slip back into what it is that you know and who it is that you know and what's comfortable for you. Even if those things don't do anything for you. I mean, even if um, you know those are no good for your life because it's convenient. But I think the biggest thing to remember when you do start to understand what it feels like and what it means to love yourself more is that even though that's convenient and easy for me to access and easy for me to go back to, it doesn't mean that that person or that thing or that situation is any good for my life. And when you start to able to make mm, tough decisions like that about your life and leaving behind the things that mean you no good and the things that waste your time and the things that lie to you and the things that make your life harder than what it should be and the things that make you feel like you're hard to love and all of those different things, then that's a true sign of a person that's trying their best to love themselves. And I just want to be the first to tell you that I'm proud of you for trying. Because I know sometimes it's easier to just love and take care of everybody else than it is to try to figure out how to love and take care of yourself. It's really easy to leave yourself behind. It's really easy to forget about yourself. It's really easy to throw yourself into everything and everybody else so you don't have to focus on your own shit. So me and you both, man, we both on this journey of trying to figure out our life, trying to figure out what makes us happy, trying to figure out what makes us whole, and staying away from the things that may bring temporary happiness and wholeness. But in the end, we know it's doing nothing but make our life harder than what it already is. So I guess my prayer for you or my hope for you is that you continue to learn to love yourself in such a way where you don't go back to people or situations or things, or you don't let new people or situations or things into your life that mistreat you, that don't see the value that you bring, they don't see how special you are, they don't see how much you have to give and how much you love. But I also need you to be real with yourself and say that sometimes I may be the person that needs to be cut off just as fast as I may need to cut someone off because maybe I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. Or maybe I'm just not in the capacity to be able to give to this person they need the way they need me to give. And I think it's become much more respectable when you can keep it real and be honest with a person than just lying to them and just toying them along. Just to be able to say you got them in your life. I think it's that simple, man, because the more you love yourself, then the less you begin to tolerate in your life. That's just what it is. I love y'all so much, man. I think that's the best way to end this episode. Is learning that it's okay to be the person that has to let some people go because you're learning to love yourself more. And it's also okay to be honest with yourself and say that this person is in a place in their life where they're learning to love themselves more, and they felt like taking me out of their life was a part of that equation. And as much as it may hurt me, that's okay. Because it is, my friend, because it is part of life. I love you so much, man. I'll see you next time, all right? Peace.
Hey, what's up? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee the podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace. Hey, what's up? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee the podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.